guess what?
Are we live?
We are going live for Get Virtual.
I love it. Megan, do you know why we're wearing masks?
Yes, I know exactly why we're wearing masks.
No, you can't say we're going to rob a bank because that's what you said earlier. We're not going to do that.
You know, I was wearing a bandana in the beginning, and I seriously felt like that. People were looking at me being like, oh gosh, what did she do?
I know, it's got it. But you know what? It is important wearing a mask because we're entering phase 1, and we're getting ready to open up all these different restaurants and all these different businesses are starting to roll out. So I think that's what the show is about today. Am I not right?
Yes, it's called Reno's Roll Out. And it specifically, just so you can actually hear me a little bit, it specifically highlights various representatives, programs, organizations that are going to give us updates on what it means to roll out, which businesses are open, and again, also encouraging wearing masks, being respectful and mindful of the current environment as we go through this phase.
And you know, and that is a good point, because I think, you know, a lot of people, everyone doesn't realize that, you know, everyone's in a different boat in some ways in this rollout. We all want the country to open up. We all want to get back to normal, but some of us are going to have to go at a different pace. You know, I find myself in kind of a compromised position a little bit because I have a daughter who has suppressed immune system. She's had several heart surgeries, things like that. So I don't know what the situation is. So for me, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious in the rollout and what's going on. That doesn't mean I don't want everyone out there, but you know, so if you see someone wearing a mask, and you know, and I think wearing a mask is not that big of a deal to not be locked up in your home. If you ask me.
We all are getting through this and we all want to move forward.
Right.
So on that note, we have a super exciting show. We've got Britton Griffith highlighting the Riverwalk District, Mike Higdon representing Downtown Reno Partnership, and then Lieutenant Governor, AKA LG, Kate Marshall, talking about her various nonprofit. But we'll start with Britton. Oh, look at Britton's mask.
I know. Britton, you're going to have to, oh, there you go. I got you unmuted. Oh, good. I like her mask. It's pretty. It's got polka dots.
My mom made my mask. So I'm going to start off with just to show you guys. So as you're entering places in the Riverwalk District, you know, we want to have 6 feet social distancing, wear your gloves, and wear your mask. I'll take this off now so you guys can hear me. But those are kind of our best practices of what we're trying to see as we start to reopen in the Riverwalk District. I'm coming to you guys live from Urban Markets. And the reason we're doing that is because we have so many places that are starting to reopen, either curbside pickup, like Liberty, Granite Street, Brewers Cabinet opens tomorrow. And so a lot of the things that are at Urban Market are from some of these locations. So I have Brewers Cabinet beer here until, yep, you can go get it there, tap room, and then tomorrow you can actually go there. We have Old World Coffee that you can get here at Urban Market. We've got Bentley Ranch ground beef that you can get as well. This is also something that's going to be available at Liberty. They also have fresh ground beef and meats. And then I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but she's a huge hit and they've done a really good job during this crisis, and that's Mother of Macros. So they're like a healthy way to cheat. So these are some really good little cookies, and then they have ready to go pre-made meals. And then one of my favorite places and people and couples in the entire Reno region is Italian Hearts. This couple is a locally owned and operated. They are so fantastic. So when you come down here, you can get some pasta. Doughboys Donuts is down here as well. Rounds Bakery is here. They have kombucha that's both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. You can get coffee. So they're just, you can get everything you need at Urban Market, and a lot of them represent the other businesses that maybe weren't able to be open during the COVID lockdown, but they were able to sell their products here. So they've been an incredible partner for so many of us, and we're just, here in the Riverwalk, we're really excited to get back up and running, and we want to make sure that we're safe when we're doing it, but we are ready to get our patrons back, to start seeing friendly faces, and to have our wonderful owners. I mean, you guys know we've talked about this a lot over the last couple months. The restaurateurs and employers did so much community give back in their time of need that now as patrons and people, if you're safe to go out, is really the time to go back and show them that we appreciate all that they did, and we're happy to see them back in business and see all those happy employees. So we're thrilled for the Reno rollout, and we welcome everybody to come down to the Reno Riverwalk. We just ask that you follow safety precautions, and as you mentioned, be kind, be patient. It's not going to be the same as it was a couple months ago because we're ramping back up. You know, we're getting employees back on board. We're reordering products that maybe we didn't have in stock previously. So as you come in, you know, like you go to Picnic or you go to Home Means Nevada, the old Reno Envy place, which will be opening on June 1st. Just be ready. Some things might take a little longer and they might be a little busier, but I promise you, it's worth it.
I think that's a sales pitch right there. That encompassed everything. I don't even know what to say after that. No, you know, so those products, I think that's a really good point, that now that we have this ability to go back out, you know, we really should focus on those places that did help give back and really help try to support the community as much as they could. And remember, they were going through the same thing as small business owners. I mean, they lost all their income, basically, and yet they still, so many gave so much during the time that it is really important that we do everything we can to keep that money coming back into the community while we can, because tourism is probably going to be a little bit slow for a while.
Much slower. I think it'll be much slower. And I think this is also a good encouragement. Mike might touch on it and stuff, but we're going to be looking at stuff that's, you know, rediscover downtown, Reno Roll Out, Riverwalk District welcomes you. All of these different things are just to remind people. Some people still haven't been downtown in 10 years and they were born and raised here, and there's so much more to offer. And I think that as we've been promoting and we've been so virtual and reaching out to people, they're starting to see all around the community how much we have in downtown, Riverwalk, and even Midtown, that just come on down. It is, you know, safe, but do what you're comfortable with. As you mentioned, Todd, if you have some issues or you're nervous, there are other opportunities. You know,
Todd does not have issues.
Not well, yeah, not you have issues, but issues that you want to.
I have more issues.
You and I match up probably, but there's plenty of ways to still stay safe in case you're not quite there and you're ready for the full phase one. Everybody's got some different platforms and venues and avenues to still show that you support their business, even if you're not quite ready to go sit in that restaurant or sit on a patio, which is fine. It's safe. Everybody's going to be moving at different speeds.
Absolutely. This is exciting, right?
It's very exciting.
Now, you and Mike work hand in hand.
We do.
On various programs, like you said, marketing campaigns. And Mike, who will be joining us as our next guest, oh, there he is, ready and
for best mask, I think.
Yes. The Battle-Worn mask from Flag Store I definitely got that before they sold out.
I was gonna say that's got to be a one that everybody wants, don't they? I mean, that's a Battle-Born. It kind of encompasses the whole idea of this COVID going through this whole thing, right? We're coming out of a battle now.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. Just you know, like also the solid Nevada blue is always really good. I might lose my face in the background. I should take it off for a second.
Yeah, I love it. So when we've been so lucky, you know, I'll let Mike touch on it more for the downtown, but we've had the ambassadors on the street every day really helping and doing such wonderful things to make sure that we're safe and clean. And then thanks to Mike and Nathan and Alex and Tanya that are our admin people that have been doing economic development, marketing, all to make sure that including our Riverwalk businesses get up and running and that they have the services and resources that they need to do best practices, because there was a lot of missing information and so people didn't know. And so Mike was a key catalyst to making sure people felt safe and secure to open back up. So without that, I mean, we were very, very grateful to have the Downtown Reno Partnership as such a great partner to the city of Reno.
And Britton's gonna steal all the good stuff I was gonna share.
Hi, Mike. Can you tell we spent too much time together?
Now, Mike, we were talking a little bit beforehand, and something that kind of surprised me, you know, with the entire downtown area. You were saying that, you know, once we had the lockdown, that a huge number of restaurants in that area downtown actually made that pivot pretty quick to delivery, and have set them up. You were saying it's like close to 30 or something like that. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what kind of happened during that whole process, and now how that set them up for coming out of this.
Yeah, it was really huge the first week that both the mayor and the governor asked for shutdown. You know, everyone kind of stopped what they were doing right away, but then a lot of restaurants in downtown, you know, and so downtown customer facing businesses are largely food and beverage. We have a handful of retail, but it's not as strong as say like in South Reno is more retail heavy, especially in that Trader Joe's area. And so within maybe 5 or 6 days, there was a couple of restaurants who were like, wait a second, we know how to do takeout and curbside because we've done it before. And they snapped back open and they got it going. And even a few we were really worried about who had just opened. So for example, like Nam Eats and West Street Market had just basically announced that they were open, immediately switched to, takeout, just using the owner's cell phone number for text messages. So he's just put it out there with his menu and he's like, just tell me what you want. And I think a lot of people actually followed along with Food and Drink in Midtown, who also had just opened. And he had a really good attitude about doing the same kind of deal. So there was, I don't know if they ever communicated with each other, but there was a lot of people who started setting that tone and setting that model and copying each other in a really good way. And what was especially great is that I looked through all these lists on Yelp and so on, and it's really hard to keep up with what I'm sure is thousands of restaurants in the city. But all of a sudden, a lot of restaurants got really good at Instagram overnight. All of a sudden, they were like posting menus, posting phone numbers. They weren't gorgeous, paid professional pictures of food, but they were the information you needed to make sure that you could go shop there. And in some ways, I think that's actually been a really good lesson during all this for businesses is that, because social media, I know for business owners can be really intimidating because they have to do a lot of it on their own. But if they can just put that information out there, people will go looking for it. So it's been really helpful. And that's how my wife and I have been keeping ourselves going to restaurants is just check their Instagram. All right, who's open? What's going on? How do we get drinks here? How do we get this food here? We did like a whole circuit around Midtown and downtown to pick up dinner and drinks and flowers and all this stuff. We came home with this giant bag of stuff.
That's incredible. And I think like you had said, setting the tone, right? And we're setting a tone now and setting an example, again, to be mindful and be respectful. And what other things have you set in place in partnership with the Riverwalk District or specifically with Reno Downtown Partnership that we can expect coming up here in the next couple weeks? Yeah,
great question. So the Riverwalk District, so Britton and Courtney Meredith, who runs Design on Edge and is also part of the Riverwalk District, is on my marketing committee. Since Riverwalk and Downtown Reno Partnership overlap, it's kind of like a Venn diagram with Riverwalk in the middle of us. And so we're working on tomorrow, I think we're coming up with a series of templated designs that we're working with a printer to create. So we're creating a digital storefront. So it's this website that you can go to, and we'll upload a bunch of downtown and Riverwalk branded materials that are essentially floor decals, window decals, things that show table tents, about social distancing, 6-foot distance, either on the floor where you can line up. Because I know a lot of folks are doing stickers or chalk or tape right now. And then what's really cool about that storefront on the website is that the business can then upload their logo to a designated position within that decal, and then they can get it printed. So, and we're not going to do like a giant print because we don't know how many people need what. But the idea is that as a business owner, if you just need 6 of those because you don't have a big space for lines, or you need 2 or whatever, you can go and upload your logo and you can get those printed and made and sent to you. And the idea is that we want to try to get all of the downtown customer facing businesses to be on the same page. And Washoe County actually came out with a cool one today that I want to totally steal from them. And it basically says something like, this is a safe business, we're COVID compliant, here's what we do. And it was really similar to what we want to do, to just show people when they walk up to a business, this is a place that's going to make me feel comfortable.
Well, I would suggest that maybe you shouldn't say that you're going to steal something when you're on Facebook Live, but that's okay. I think it's a great.
When you're the mantra of graphic design is there's nothing new in graphic design. You're always borrowing, begging, and stealing. So
yeah, I get that. And no, that is really though a really big thing, because I mean a lot of businesses are kind of small and they only need like 1 or 2 stickers, and they can't go out and buy 50 or 100, and then I mean the budgets these guys are probably trying to open up on now are just razor thin, and it's just really, really tough. So
yeah, so if you can put $50 or $100 into a couple of items, it might cover your windows and your front door and get you, or I'm not sure what the price is, it may even be less, maybe 20 to 100, but somewhere in there, versus like you said, trying to get a bulk order down is really hard. So if we can do the bulk ordering, kind of guaranteeing the printer is going to get 1,000 of those, that'll knock the price down for everyone. That's
Where
really
can
cool.
businesses find more information on the COVID compliance marketing materials?
So we have downtownreno.org, and I have a COVID resources webpage, and a lot of this stuff is coming out currently. So like this, for example, this sticker I think just came out today that the county has. So we have a lot of links and buttons going out to all these different things. So, you know, as we update it, there'll be more. So it's kind of like one of those things that, you know, I'm like, check back for more updates. I don't know how many people do that, but my hope is that every few days, maybe they check it out and there's a little bit something new. The different guides, because the Washoe County guide is very comprehensive compared to the state. So if you've only seen the governor's, it's very light, and then the counties is like, this is a specific business. If you're a salon, you do this. If you're a restaurant, you do this. If you're urban market, you do this. It's not that specific, but it's very close. Yeah, so it's really good. And so we're trying to get that out to our subscribers and make sure. So like, for example, Picnic, I just end with Picnic here, came out with theirs today on Facebook, and they listed all the things they're doing. And it's a perfect reflection of both the required guidelines and the recommended guidelines. So Picnic is super compliant, and, you know, having people eat outdoors and staying distant, wear your masks when you're not eating or drinking. They're really trying to push it. And of course they're going to have customers who are like, well, how do you eat and drink with a mask on? And I think we'll just have to figure out how that looks. It could be messy. So you might have to watch people eat for a while.
Exactly, Todd.
Yeah.
Well done.
Put a straw.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, while we have you two on here, I want to bring on our third guest. This is our super VIP guest, yeah, Kate Marshall, or LG, Lieutenant Governor, and she's going to talk about a program she's doing, which is really quite amazing, Delivering with Dignity. Oh, she's got, look, I love that mask. Look at that.
Hi, how are you?
Great, Kate. I love the avocado.
I have to put, you know, I have to come up with a good mask compared to these guys. Oh my goodness, right? I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
That is awesome. Now, Kate, we were talking earlier about, you know, the restaurants have been shut down. A lot of them have pivoted to delivery and stuff like that, and pickups and trying to open. But I think you're going to be talking about a program you got, and it has several different components to it. And one of the components was the support of the restaurants through this situation. So maybe you could talk a little bit about Delivery with Dignity, what it involves, and you can take off your mask because you're probably socially, you know, distanced there. Oh.
It depends on what I'm wearing, right? You know.
I love it. I love it.
Got one.
So, white goes with everything, right? So Delivering with Dignity, right? This is a program that started in Vegas, and we brought it here to Reno because there's such a great need. But what it does is it helps our local restaurants, because we pay them to create really, really good meals, delicious meals, the kind that you and I would be like, oh my God, that needs a big tip. And then we deliver those meals to people who really, they need to be bubble wrapped. So we have certain people that, well, you and I, you know, the thing I want to do most is to sit at an outside restaurant, right? But there are people who are immunocompromised or family members immunocompromised, and they need to stay home. They will be the last people who should go out. And we want to protect them. We don't want more deaths. We don't want more hospitalizations. We want to move to phase 2, right? That's what we all want to do. So phase 2, okay, where are these? Get to phase 2. And so what we do is we raise private money. And Liberty Food and Wine Exchange is the first restaurant that we signed up. They're amazing, and the food is amazing. And we pay them per meal. And then we have volunteer drivers, we call them food heroes because they're the best. And they pick up the meals and they take them to the doors of people who are our most vulnerable. And we have an app that you download so that it's best routing. And we've been up, last week was our first week, and we served 2,034 meals in the first week. There's so much need. And this week topped that, over 2,100 meals. And it's just amazing where really we have these nonprofits. United Way of Northern Nevada if you don't know about them, they're just phenomenal people, phenomenal group of people, so organized. Could never have done this without them, you know. It's where you make this phone call and you say, oh, you know, I was just wondering, how's it going? You know, I have this idea. I was wondering if we could work together on this. And they just stepped up right away. And so did Mark Estee. And so we're delivering meals to people in need who need to be at home. And they're so grateful. We deliver to seniors who used to volunteer. But now, because they have an underlying condition, they really have to stay at home, right? We deliver to families. It's all throughout Reno and Sparks. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And
That's
so
cool.
one of the things I wanted to talk about was, when you come, okay, if you want to be a volunteer driver, we have gloves, see, and masks, and they're color coordinated, both white. So we give you both of them so that you're totally protected. Everything is really done with the highest protocols for health and safety. For you, for the people we deliver to, for the restaurants.
That's extraordinary. Through this development, what was something that presented itself that was extremely unexpected? I know you touched upon the need, right? And really being surprised by how many, how quickly, how fast, because you had mentioned before you came on that this has only been within a week, correct, of starting this.
So last week was our first week, and literally it took us 9 days to get from idea to that moment. I mean, we just worked overtime. But what amazed me was, first, we did a budget, and we kind of figured that maybe we'd have to deliver about 1,900 meals at the peak, thinking we'll go through the summer, right? And so the first thing that amazed me was the first week we passed that. We whipped right by that. But the second thing that I just love about this area, about who we are, it really captures who we are, okay? Was I figured that I need about 275,000 to make it through the summer. So I figured to start, I needed 50,000 in the bank. So the first thing that happened was an angel donor came up and said, I will give you 50,000 to match. And I was flabbergasted. I didn't even know this individual. And I said, put it in the bank, because I promise you I will get that match, okay? And before we started, Nevada Gold Mine stepped up and gave us $50,000.
Wow.
And you know, like on our website, we have a donation page and we have a sign up for volunteer page, and people have just come forward, because who wants to sit on their hands at home, right? And be like, oh, okay, Netflix, I'm doing my part. You know, so, you know, that's not who we are, right? You're just like, I have all this time, I want to give back, right? And so the coming together, the dignity of intention that this community has just filled me again and again and again.
Wow. That's a lot. Now, I did want to talk on one thing that you did mention before, and we were talking a little bit about this. And I think this is another very important part of this, you know, this whole Delivering with Dignity program. Not only are we feeding people, but you were telling me that 2,100 meals, that's amazing in itself. But you were saying that several restaurants were able to hire staff back.
Yes.
Because
So,
of this program.
Liberty was able to hire 4 of its staff employees back, one being a dishwasher who has worked with him for 20 years. And he was able to bring him back because he needed things done. So that's part of the beauty of this program, that where the money goes, so we raise the money, and really what we do is we pay per meal. And it doesn't, nobody's making a profit here. All of us are volunteering our time and treasure, and then, but we pay the restaurants their cost.
Right.
So they can at least bring people back just to keep them going, right? To keep them going. I really am so worried about our independent businesses. I mean, where are they going to get the capital? Where, you know, what are they supposed to do with going from 100 to 0 in a nanosecond, right? And so while we start this engine again, and all I want us to do is to do whatever we have to do to get to phase 2, right? Not be mindful, be mindful. Let's help each other so that we come back as the community we are. Because I love these restaurants. I love these small businesses, right? And Britton was pointing some of them out, like Old World Coffee. Oh my God, best coffee. Oh my goodness, right? Going to these restaurants and Perrin Bakery. I'm sorry, I love Perrin Bakery. It's such great food, you know, and Liberty. And I mean, aren't you like excited to? Like,
so excited. I dream about it every night.
And then we're helping our most vulnerable, which is what we do, right? We're only as strong as our weakest link. So that's what we do. Oh, I should give you the, so I give you the website.
Yes,
So it's deliveringwithdignityrenosparks.org. That's the website. Or there's a phone number, 775, obviously, 391-0525. 775 391-0525. And
you
great
can rewind that a couple times to hear that phone number if you need to. So,
okay.
let's go around. You know, Mike, where can people get more information about the Downtown Partnership and the stuff that you got going on and all that different stuff? Once again, website, Facebook, where do you want them to go?
Yeah, so we have our website is downtownreno.org, and there's a COVID resources page in the navigation and homepage. But then we do post a lot on Facebook, and that's just Downtown Reno Partnership. No fancy spelling or anything like that. Basically what's behind me here. And we post a ton of resources there and a lot of news stories and photos. And like, for example, there was a call for artists today that we posted to get murals on the walls or the boards or the windows of downtown businesses. So there's a lot going on there. And then Instagram is kind of where we post like the fun stuff going on. And I'm trying really hard to keep up on our Instagram stories with all the businesses. Anytime, like I was saying, that they post something about hours or opening, I'm just sharing that to our stories. So I think at one point we had like 40 slides in the story, and then of course it starts to disappear, and then I have to fill it back up again.
Oh, Instagram. And
Yeah.
Britton, what have you got for us? Where should people go? Where should they find more information?
Yeah, so the other thing just is to note, when you do go visit the Downtown Reno Partnership's webpage, we have a newsletter that you can sign up for, and that'll give you all of the updates as well. And then for Reno Riverwalk District, we have the same thing. So go visit renoriverwalk.org. You can also find me on social media. You can follow through on this if you're watching this Zoom TV. And we're consistently updating on Facebook, just because, as Mike mentioned, things are happening so quickly that to update the web page is actually more difficult than just submitting it again and again. And things are changing. People open and then they go, oh, we're going to change our hours a little bit, or we have a special coming this week. And so Facebook and Instagram are actually the best places. And you can also even just follow Mike and I directly, and we are always tagging those specific businesses and the DRP with our WMA. So those are all great ways. But right now, social really is the way to go, because things are just happening so fast.
It's true, yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much for all of your efforts, taking the time to showcase everything going on. I mean, not just downtown Reno Riverwalk, but regionally as well for Nevada. So, wow, this is an exciting time, and so glad we can do this together, slowly and safely. So
yep, that's what makes this battle born.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think we had one of our guests said something about, you know, that even though that we were kind of in quarantine and we were all locked down, you know, society and community definitely didn't have to stop. And I think you three have definitely proven that aspect with everything you guys are doing out there and all the different steps, and really appreciate it. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No worries. We'll see you guys later. Have a great time. Okay.
Bye.
Keep up good work.
Okay, be safe. Be safe.
We will.
love it.
Oh man, how
Todd,
fast?
the human spirit is stronger than ever right now. We are definitely all rising together and getting through this together.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, and this is what we were waiting for. You know, you know, we went into lockdown and we said this is going to be a temporary thing and we'd eventually be able to come back out. And this is where we're at now. You know, the road to recovery may not be a straight line, and we got to be prepared for that. And I think Britton had a lot of good points about, you know, be kind, be patient. You know, those restaurants, they didn't know how busy they're going to get. They're trying to figure out their staffing, orders. There's a lot of logistics there, right? Things will get back to the way they were, where, you know, you only have to wait 2 minutes for your latte. It may take a lot more longer right now. So, you know, we love that. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. If you did, please share it, talk about it. You know, we love hearing great stories. You can contact us at Reno Tahoe at planmygetaway.com. That goes to all of us so we know what's going on. We're always looking for sponsors of the show so we can keep it going and bring up those, help amplify those great stories. So with that, you know, I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing out people out and about, and I know a lot of people are.
I'll see you maybe at the bar, 6 feet away.
6 feet away.
Thanks for watching.
With a mask on.
With a mask.